Hello, today I've been using this Behr product here. This is a transparent wood finish, waterproofing. It's good for 4 years on decks, 6 years on fences and siding. And this is the clear, see here? But I wanted to share what it looks like when you put this product on raw wood. So I've got some boards here that have been inside, they haven't been weathered. And we're gonna try brushing some of this on those planks and see what they look like. I've got pine and cedar. Before I open the can, let's take a look at the back here. Here's the dry time, 1 to 2 hours before recoat, 72 hours for full cure. Additional dry time may be needed in cooler temperatures and higher humidity. Now this is a water-based product. Tells you how to dispose of the product. Over here it shows you what temperature for application. Between 35 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Must stay above 35 degrees Fahrenheit for the next 12 hours. Avoid applying in direct sunlight or hot surfaces. Coating will resist rain after 4 hours. Do not thin product. Test product for color. Use of rollers may be limited to rough surfaces only. 2 thin coats required. So I have found that if you get a rough surface, like on this picket here, a brush works better. I've tried using a roller. It did not really work well for me. As far as spraying, you know, you may have some clogging. It says not to thin, so I don't know how that'll work out, but I've always used a brush, so that's what we're going to try it on today. So if you buy the product and you can have it shaken at the store, that's the best thing. This is a couple weeks old now. I'm just going to hand shake it. And I've got a stirrer here as well I'll use. But yeah, this is going to be the look that you're going to see. When I first used this product years ago, I thought that it was just going to be almost like a lacquer. You know, when I was using clear, I was thinking it was just I was gonna get the look of the wood basically, with just a kind of a lacquer finish over it. But no, that's what it is. That's what it looks like. Now it will look a little different once it dries. So we're gonna go with that right there. I think I'll just use my brush. Straight in the can here. Just using a very cheap, I'm guessing that's probably like a nylon bristles there. Maybe some real hair, I'm not sure, but it's a cheapy brush, like a 2-inch. Okay, we're going to start on the pine. Just go for a pretty thin coat here. I'm just trying to cover everything. One thing that's really important that I found is that you want to paint the whole plank at one time. You don't want to stop, like say right here, and move on to another plank next to it and continue going on, and then come back later and start right here. Because if you do that, it's going to dry And this right here, once you try to cover it up, you will not be able to. What'll happen is you'll be able to see where you stopped at, and it will look really ugly. I had a fence that when I was learning to use this, that I did that on. I went probably about 20 foot, and I just painted it as far as I could go that I felt comfortable with, all the way down the fence. What I was going to do is come back and squat and get the rest of the fence, and I just had this line all the way across. And then when I came back to start, I squatted down and started going over it, and you could clearly see that after it was dry. There's no way I could correct that. What I did was continue to resurface like 4 times, I think, and finally it started looking better. Okay, let's take the pine away now, and we're going to work on the cedar here. This cedar is really light. Same kind of texture here, it's coarse, I would say. It's going to have a lot of absorption here. Would be better to have a 3 or 4 inch brush. You can see in there, I really got to get in here, cover all that. All right, let's go to the little picket pine over here. Texture on this is smoother. You're not gonna need as much of the wood finish. I really haven't been concentrating on the sides. So I'm about to put the second coat on. According to the instructions, you're supposed to wait 1 to 2 hours before recoat. So I'm right at that time. I'm going to go ahead and just brush these again, just like the first application that you saw. And once I get the second coat on, then we'll come back and take a look at that. Here's a fence that I want to put the clear on as well. This fence was made about 7 years ago, I'm thinking. It had 3 coats of a finish on it at that time, so it has not been refinished since then. You can see a lot of fading here. This is coarse, this is pine. Don't remember what stain or finish that I used, so I really can't refer back to that, but I would be happy with just a clear coat of the Behr waterproofing that we're going to be using. I may or may not pressure wash this. I may just go ahead and just add the clear straight to this, just make sure there's not any obvious dirt or anything on it. So yeah, let's go ahead and try that. So I've got the wood finish on 4 sections here. Stopped right here. Should be able to see a difference. These 2 are faded. The other 4 there, a little darker. little more of a sheen on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but yeah, there's clearly a difference from what I see here. Okay, moving right along here. I've got 14 pickets in between the post, so I'm taking 7, and I'm using my brush, which I broke down and bought, 3-inch brush. Been working out very nice, being able to move faster. It's a little heavier, so it takes a little bit to get used to, but I'm taking 7 and just going to the top and staining all of those, finishing all of those. With the 2x4 here, I'm not having to worry about it drying too fast and leaving an overlap look. So yeah, I'm going 7, coming down, getting 7 here. I'm on 4 right now. But yeah, the brush has been working much better here. Much broader application. Something else I wanted to try the wood finish on is an old gray fence here. I mean, we're talking maybe 20 years, 15, 20 years here. Never had any kind of finish on it. Just basically put up and just weathered to the look that you see here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple coats on one of these planks here and see what it looks like. So we're going to go with this one here. It's next to an old, a darker one, and then one that's about the same color here. So I'll put 2 coats on this and we will get back and see what it looks like. Back at the old gray fence here, I put a second coat on this one board here, and you can see the difference. Maybe it's not completely dry yet, but should be able to get the idea, the difference that it's going to look like with 2 coats on. Really 1 coat, it looked pretty much the same. It does have a little bit of brown, as you can see in it. See that? That wasn't there before. That was more like that. So, you know, it's an improvement just putting the clear on there, if that's a look you want. So yeah, you'll have a little bit of the brown, as you see, that is in the clear. Some shine. So that's an idea if you want to look like that and try to bring out the old faded gray look. All right, sun is starting to set now, and here's a look at the fence I was working on today. I don't know how good you can see that, the sun setting, but turned out pretty well. About 2.5 gallons used on this, 2 coats. I do have another ½ gallon. I may go back over and put a little more on the 2x4s and the post. But yeah, you can see a little bit of a sheen to it here. Even the coarse pine pickets here kind of have almost a plastic texture to them. Maybe you can kind of see that sheen. I like that. So that should waterproof this for, well, according to Behr, 4 years. And then we can revisit it again and do it again. In the meantime, we've got the new planks here that we started on, and I did put the second coats on those, and that was the pine picket there, the long one. You can see the contrast of clear and the new, the fresh new wood, the unweathered wood there. That's the cedar, and then that's the small pine picket. I wanted to point out that when I put the second coat on, I went ahead and overlapped, and just to kind of show you what it will look like if you're using the finish and you happen to stop like halfway and you don't finish the whole board, you're going to have an overlap. You see here. Not as noticeable on the cedar here, because the cedar has a little bit of color to it anyway. And then again with the pine, clearly see where I overlap there. But that's the look. And that will be a wrap, I guess, for the Behr Premium waterproofing wood finish. Again, this is the clear number 500N, right off the shelf, and just shook. So hope the video has been helpful for using this product and kind of give you an idea of what to expect. And until next time, have a great day and take care.